Hi, welcome to another Finance Dragon video where we look at emerging topics and trends and their financial implications for the common man. Today we look at something which has been in the news for some time now and has kind of gripped our minds, the coronavirus or COVID-19 as it is called. Now, if you have been reading the papers and the news, you would know that the amount of research on the subject actually has been piling up and is quite huge. In fact, so much so that it becomes difficult for us to find out what exactly is right. So that means that whenever we hear someone say something, what we get to hear is something which is really frightening, which does cause some amount of panic in us. And yes, you can say that we do want to run away from it. But the point is that we need to understand that we need to relax a bit here, because first of all, there are a lot of people working on this, experts as such, and for the first time the entire world's government actually is coming in together to act on this. And thirdly, news suggests that a vaccine is probably going to be there in the coming months, in 2-3 months itself. So that's very good news. Now, the three things you need to understand about this virus: first of all, if you nothing else, soap. You need to use soap, distance between people, and hygiene, personal and the area around you. So that is what you need to keep in mind, the three things. We'll look a bit more in detail about what exactly you need to look at. Now, if you've got some time, we suggest you look at what the World Health Organization has been saying. Now, this organization, as you well know, is the leading organization that takes care of everybody's health and looks at what epidemics and pandemics are there in the market. So what they say, first of all, is to wash your hands frequently, use soap and water if possible, and otherwise sanitizers, and then maintain a social distance approximately of 3 feet between two people. That is essential because that allows you to stay away from whatever comes out, any germs that may come out from when they're talking to you. Then again, stop touching your eyes, nose and mouth with your hand, and practice in case of coughing or sneezing. They say you should always use a tissue paper, and if possible, dispose it. And if do not use a tissue paper, then at least whether hanky you use or anything you use, then once you are back home, dispose of it properly or wash it properly in proper soap. Then again, you've got one thing you need to understand: if you got any fever, any coughs, anything of that sort, please seek medical care and stay informed. Don't just believe whatever WhatsApp says, because there's lots of information that is there which is exactly not correct. And lastly, in case you're not feeling well, you should stay at home. That's the best thing you can do for yourself and your loved ones and the people you care about. Now let's look at some FAQs people have got. The first question that everybody has is coronavirus dangerous? And the answer is yes and no. Yes, because you got to realize that it's a new virus. Nobody knows much about it. There's too little information. And secondly, it is contagious. So this creates a kind of cycle of panic, which is kind of feeding onto itself and creating a spiral of sorts. And no, because coronavirus is less dangerous, and it also the people recover a lot. 80% of people don't even fall sick that badly. To give you an understanding of how dangerous coronavirus is, we have created this chart where we look at the R0 count, which is how many people can be infected by one person vis-a-vis the mortality rate. And you will realize while looking at this chart that COVID-19 is not exactly quite up there. There are other diseases, for example, Ebola, for example, SARS, MERS, which are much more dangerous and which actually are much more fatal for people. COVID-19 is new, so there is lots of information that is available in the market, and people are panicking a bit more than they should. That's what most experts are now beginning to say. Now you may ask, if the virus is not that dangerous, why is the fuss? So to understand that, you got to realize how the media works. Now this is the first time the virus has actually struck the US. There has never been anything like this in the past for this country, and the media sector is very strong in that country. That means there is so much information right there that people are panicking. Thirdly, the world markets are down because the travel industry is going down, China is going down in terms of economy, and nations are reacting fast. So all of this is causing a cycle, creating a cycle of sorts, which is leading to a lot of information and a lot of panic. And this is what you don't have to do. You don't need to panic at all. No, you may, if you want to, just see somebody there and try to follow them because they're panicking, but that's not the right thing to do. And secondly, on the flip side, you do not also need to be assuming that everything will be fine, because everything will not be fine. Things are changing. And here, as we promised, to look at two things that you need to consider. First of all, your health, and secondly, your wealth. So let's look at your health first. Now, there are a few things that you got to keep in mind. Okay, we look at what are the first primary things you got to keep in mind. Now, the coronavirus, first of all, is going to go away. That's what people say when the summer comes. But that is something which is worth pondering upon, and whether that is actually real or not is not something everybody knows about. So let's look at what exactly you can do as of now, what precautions you can take for now and the future. The first is personal and home hygiene. Take care of it. Wash your hands on a regular basis, brush your teeth on a regular basis, and clean your house. Make sure that your house is perfectly spick and span. Do not keep it dirty. Do not bring your shoes inside the house, for example, which can cause a virus of this sort to come inside. Then the community and public spaces, which means that you keep your cities and your streets clean. Do not throw the garbage outside. Do not spit on the roads. Do not put your plastic packets out there because the garbage guy did not come. That is not exactly something you do here, because if you do that, you are one reason why the pandemic is happening so fast in the market. Now, again, another thing you got to realize is that the third thing which you need to look at is your social health consciousness. That has to increase. So, for example, if you're talking to people, if you're in a group of people, try to wear a mask if possible. And secondly, keep a hand sanitizer with you so they can wash your hands when shaking hands, or just say namaste, for example. Keep tissue papers with you. And again, as we have been saying before also, use a garbage bin for what it is used for, to throw things. Do not throw things out in the open. Do not use plastic packets and just throw them on the road or dump them like that. That is not exactly done. Now, as we have been saying, there are reports that when the summer comes in India, which is going to come any days now, the virus will lose its effect. Now, that is exactly maybe not be exactly true, because it's more or less like conjecture that may be true or may not be true. So we cannot just rely on that. But yes, if you are in a hotter climate, chances are that you may not catch a cold. Now, let's look at the second and the last part, which is the reason why this video has been there. Let's look at your wealth and how this virus, COVID-19, is going to affect the wallet. Now, you got to realize something when this virus hit the market. For example, it hit China. Production in Chinese industry stopped. Travel ban. Aeroplanes have stopped flying to different countries. There are now travel bans in most of the countries around the world. So that means the hotels in those countries are not having good business. Secondly, tourism industry has gone down. This is just the direct cause of what this virus has been doing. There are other factors which are going to affect the industry inside out. So, for example, people are going to lose their jobs. Industries are going to see slow growth. Businesses are going to fail. Now, what that means is that there is going to be, in the short term, a lot of challenges for the economy, for the government, for the people, all of us, to understand what we need to do, because it's the first time something of this scale is happening around the world. Never has there been something which is so big, which everybody is aware of. Now, this also creates some opportunities in case you are aware of that. For example, there may be new business opportunities that may come up. So people who adapt quickly to that will definitely move ahead, and businesses who are able to understand what is happening and take care of the opportunities that come up will be able to sustain themselves and in fact grow also. Now, here are some tips that you should keep in mind until some more clarity is available. So first of all is that you should be prepared for changes overall as a business model in the way you work. You should be able to adapt quickly and learn new skills. Try to see where you can add value and take care of your health, your mental health, your physical health. Mental, because if you're home and you are actually seeing this news all around, you are going to suffer some amount of a psychological reaction, which is not very good. Again, last thing, but more important, save your money. Be frugal, don't overspend. We do not know how this virus is going to act out. So if you are careful with your money right now, there are good chances that you will be able to come out of it okay. Now, the good news. The good news is that vaccination trials are going to start soon, and experts expect the first vaccine to be out within a few months. Now, Another thing that you need to realize is the overhype is actually very good because it is making us realize things for what they are. The virus does not care about our boundaries that we have set out, our national boundaries, our religious boundaries. We need to just be respectful of nature and treat ourselves right. So this was basically a finance jargon video to give you information about the coronavirus. We can obviously increase this length of this and give you more information, but we have kept it short so that you see what the information was all about. And in case you need more information, do let us know and we'll see what we can do. And for more videos like this or any information that you want more or any topics that you want us to talk about, please do share, please do let us know. The links are in the descriptions below. Thank you so much. Have a very good day.